What is good, RET family, and welcome back to another episode of the RET podcast. And in this episode today, Mo is absent, but we have replaced him with a worthy component, a better component, 2.0, in every way, better, advanced, faster, stronger. Mr. Lou Wright. Lou Wright is a member of RET. He's been with us for over a year, I would say. Well, we've been around over a year now anyway, the whole RET movement. And Lou's been with us from the start. He's absolutely transformed his life, his entire career. His mindset has just completely 180'd, shifted. And we're going to go through today how he's actually done that, because so many people make excuses. So many people say, it's genetics, it's whatever. I can't do it. Like, oh, I've got a job at whatever, such and such, and I finish at 11 p.m. You know, I need to get home and sleep. Whereas Lou and other top performers, well, you're not a top performer, don't I? Go to head, mate. Lou.
Oh, shit. I was saying, the intro.
You're comparing them, man.
Just going through the roof, mate.
Mate, your head's getting bigger and bigger. But what I'm saying is, Lou and people that want to find a way to make things work, do so. You either find a way or you make a way. And in this podcast, we're going to share with you how Lou has gone through that transformation and just sucked it up, become almost droid-like. And so hopefully by the end of it, you can take something and then transform your own life. So Lou, where should we start with you, man?
Just give us an intro, mate. Intro yourself. That's the main thing, all right? Because some people watching this might not know who the famous Lou Wright is, mate. So you're going to have to give them a nice formal introduction.
My name is Lou. I'm 21. I'm from London. I feel like I'm doing a Love Island intro, mate.
One day, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Never know. Joined RET, I literally think it was from launch day, because I was in contact with Tom before the site even launched. And yeah, I mean, I joined originally because I was very down in the dumps about myself, wasn't really confident. Basically, everything RET preached was everything I wanted. So I just joined with the goal of transforming my life. And yeah, over the last 2 years, I basically did that. And yeah, good little intro.
2 years, absolutely nuts. So what are you currently doing now then? What's your occupation now? What are you doing?
So at the moment, I'm currently working at Sainsbury's as the finest lorry loader in all the land. Mm-hmm. It's a very fulfilling job. But on the side of that, I'm getting my PT qualification and just trying to obviously make that my main profession. But while I'm learning, I'm doing that. And yeah, just trying to go from there and transition into that, and then eventually go off from that.
Nice. And how you finding the PT course so far? Because you're doing it with the PT Collective, aren't you?
Yeah, PT Collective. It's really good. I've passed both my theory exams. I sent off my final piece of coursework last night. No, the night before.
Nice.
Which is an absolute fucking struggle because I had to stay up till like 2 a.m. and then started working 2 hours. But you gotta get shit done. And then literally just got to do my practical exams, and then I should be fully qualified, and then hopefully get a job and get out of Sainsbury's, mate.
Take over the world.
Yeah, exactly, mate. One person at a time.
So today's date compared to a year ago, what would you say is the difference between Lou today and Lou last year?
Victim's mentality, 100%.
The whole mental
really
shift.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I wouldn't really say. I don't know if I'd say a year ago. I mean, like, I can literally go back way before, like, to the start of where, like, but it's up to you guys. I don't know what you wanna. Do you want me to go like back to the point where I was just like, right, I need a change, or
go
like,
back to the point?
No, absolutely, man. Yeah, just take us back, man.
Well, I'd say like, I don't know. So I went to sixth form, and I was very, very confident. Well, not extremely confident, but like, I was happy with myself and everything. And then after that, all my friends kind of went off to uni, and I had like a small little group outside of sixth form. Everyone kind of got good grades, went off to uni, had like a sense of direction, knew what they wanted to do. And I was kind of just like stuck in this like void, and I had no idea what I kind of wanted to do in my life. So I basically took the first job I could, which was up London, in sales, doing recruitment. And I just remember at the time, I was just like surrounded by all these people who were like 24, 25-year-olds who have got like egos through the roof, like making stupid amounts of money, don't know what they're doing with it. And like, I don't know, when you're 18, I think you kind of, it's that weird state where you're like, I'm an adult, but I'm not an adult. and you're like, I don't know, it's a very weird place for you, like mentally. And I just remember like thinking, like sitting here in this day-to-day job, and I was just like, I don't know what this is, and just thinking like this is going to be the rest of my life. Like I'm gonna sit in a 9 to 5. I'm gonna sit behind a keyboard. I'm gonna have someone telling me what I need to do every single day, and like make money for someone else's dream. And I was just like, this ain't it.
So you were going for like a little bit of kind of like an existential crisis. Then,
yeah, exactly.
At that young of an age, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, at the time, when I joined that job, I just come back from a lads holiday, and the only people I kind of had who were at home at that time, because all my other friends go to like uni up north, like 3-4 hours away, so very far away. We had like a massive dispute, so we were no longer on talking terms with them either. So it was like, I'm working a job in London, I have no friends here. My other friends are at uni, and I'm just like lost. And it was a very strange time, and I eventually ended up leaving that job. And then I think around that time was, I don't know, no, it might have been a bit after that I got in contact with Tom about coaching.
You were still working that job in London, I think, when we started working together.
I don't know, no, because I'm pretty sure, because I did two recruitment jobs, because the funny thing is, I left that, and I was unemployed for like 2 months, and that just didn't help. Because I mean, like, I don't know, when you have nothing to work towards and you're doing nothing, it just gets you so like bad, man. Like, I just remember
Devil's Workshop.
Literally, I just remember sitting there and just like thinking, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, even though I'm young, but I was just like, all my friends have got like goals, they're working towards this, and I'm just like unemployed. And like, I had no sense of direction. So I was just like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the exact same job, but somewhere closer to me. Because I was just like, it's the only thing I know how to do. And I was so scared of like delving into like something else, because I was so scared of change, because it was the only thing I knew how to do. And I was like, oh, I'm all right at it. Yeah, I'll just do that. And then, yeah, I went into that again, and it was just like, it was a bit better because the people were a bit nicer, but at the same time, I was just like, this really isn't what I want to do. And then shortly after that, I think it was it November, December, Tom? We started working together?
Yeah, so around December 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we got a
while ago now, man.
Yeah, it's fucking time flies, mate. But yeah, I mean, I got in contact with Tom, and we started working together, and I think shortly after that's when we had the Leeds meet up?
Yes.
And
a few months after that, yeah.
Funny story, literally like a week after that, I got let go from my job.
I remember that, man. Jeez.
And, oh mate, it was so, at the time I was just like, oh, this is the end of the world, and like, it was just so bad. But like, I just remember the day going up to Leeds, like, I was just, now I look back at it, I would have got rid of me, because I was sitting there on my phone the whole day. And I remember getting a message from Mo, and I was literally like having a fucking anxiety attack, because I was like, there's no way this has happened. I was like, what is happening? I was just sitting there on my phone, and my boss was like, can you do this, please? And I was just like sitting there, like looking at Leeds, looking at all these songs, like doing this, doing that. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that, going up to Leeds and meeting you guys, was literally like, I don't know. It was one of those like moments, but it like kind of put a lot of things into perspective for me, because I was like, here are these 3 guys who are like, I don't know. I think when I came up, I was like, in my head, I was just like, is Mo, Tom, and Alex, are they going to be the same, or are they just going to be like these people behind a screen, and they're just like, you know what I mean, just like a personality? But like, when I met you guys and you were still sound, I was just like, I don't know. It was just really like refreshing. And then like seeing you guys, like, I don't know, all these people, like fans come up to Mo, and like everyone having a good time. I was just like, man, that's like, I just want to do something where like these people are like having the time of their lives doing like what they love. And I was just like, man, I need to do something like that. And I think after kind of getting let go from that job, like, I'm a firm believer, as hippie as it sounds, that everything happens for a reason.
So
but after I got let go from that,
as well.
Sorry?
You believe in astrology as well then?
No, none of that stuff. But like after I left, got let go from that, I was just like, I need to make a change. And I think after I got let go from that job, I was unemployed again for about 2-3 months. And that's when like I was like, I'm going to make this like gym stuff a priority over anything. Like, it's the only thing I have, so I have to give it like my all. And I remember saying to Tom at the meetup, I was like, mate, I'm making a promise to you now. I'm going to be your hardest working client. And I remember Tom looking at me. He was like, yeah, all right, mate.
Nah, I think I was like, yeah, mate, that's fucking sounds.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, but I just remember from that point, I was just like, right, I need to make a change. And yeah, I mean, that's a quick little wrap up of the whole situation.
That's interesting, man, because I didn't know, like, obviously I've seen just from working with you firsthand, you go through this like little transformation. Obviously, you're still getting like, you know, the ball rolling with things, but the amount of progress you've actually made within the last year has been nuts. Like, honestly, it's nuts, mate. Obviously, because I have weekly contact with you, so I've seen everything as it's unfolded. But I didn't know what the actual catalyst was, like the actual, you know, the moment kind of thing.
3 a.m. in a club.
So that's, yeah, it's cool though, man. It's cool that something like that, and seeing that can like shift your perspective and be like, you know, that ignition for it. So like when you got let go from that did you get let go from the second job, or did you leave? Sorry.
I left the first one. I got let go of the second one.
Okay. When you got let go from the second one, then was you like, did that piss you off? Was you excited, or was you just like, okay, all right, it's time?
Like, it was still. I think it was because like, I don't know. I don't want to say my parents don't pressure me, but like my sister's like, she works uptown. She's got a very good job. I think in the back of my head, I was always like, that's what I need to do, because my family kind of look up to that. Like my parents don't work uptown. They work locally, and they have a shop, but they're very like business orientated people, and they like work very hard. So when I left my job, my first one, I told them, and they weren't like disappointed or anything, because they understood the whole situation. But when I kind of got let go, I was just like, this doesn't look good. I was just like, I've left 2 jobs. Like, it was kind of just like shell shock. And I remember just calling my mate Matt, and I was just like, Matt, I've just been sacked, mate. Like, can we meet? And I just remember sitting in a car park, and we were talking for about 30 minutes, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do this like gym stuff, and I'm just gonna pursue it. But the funny thing is, even after that, I didn't pursue it until I feel like the main thing that made me pursue it was like lockdown, because I was like, I joined Sainsbury's, and I was still like in a bad mindset, because I was thinking about it from the point of view like, oh, I'm a 20-year-old working at Sainsbury's, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, but I think it's one of the biggest things I've learned is like, you can make the best out of any situation if you like really put your head to it. And even though I was like, oh, it's a really bad situation, I was just like, no, you need to look at the positives. Like, I start really early, so I have the rest of my day to do whatever I want. And I was like, I have all this spare time. And then when we went into lockdown, I was just like, I don't know how long this is going to last. Because I remember thinking, I was just like, oh, it's just going to be like a 2-3 month stint, and then I'll be out of here. But I was just like, if I'm out of here, what do I want to do? And then I was just like, I can do the same route, because I was going to get an apprenticeship and go back up London. And now I think about it, I'm just like, mate, what were you thinking about? Like, what, you know what's happened in the past. It makes no sense. But I was like, I saw it from the perspective of, I could do that, train for like two years, get like a job up London with an apprenticeship. But then I was just like, at the end of that, what if I've done all that, I don't like it, and then I'm back to square one?
Yeah.
I was just like, I'd rather pursue something now that I know I like, and like potentially fail at it, but at least I know like it's not wasted time, in the sense of it's something I wanted to do and I can work towards it, and at this moment in time it makes the most sense. And I feel like from there it kind of just went down its own path.
Yeah, I guess as well, when you started working at Sainsbury's, you know, obviously when you say that, you know, it does sound like a regression from what you were working at before. So I guess there's kind of like the the aspect involved, like, oh fucking, I've gone from working in a semi-decent office job in London to now working at Sainsbury's.
Wearing nice suits to wearing burgundy orange.
But at the same time, like, that then allowed you to, you know, open other doors and give you the time that you needed to work on other things. And obviously, you know, what hours do you work at Sainsbury's?
I mean, it's been all over the place. I mean, at the moment I'm doing 4 a.m. to 11, but I used to do 2 to 10. So I was waking up at like 12 in the morning, because the thing is as well, like, you guys got me. Obviously, when the Stoic challenge and shit was going on, I still wanted to like commit to it, and I was just like, I know for a fact with me, if I don't like do something straight away, I can't like kid myself and be like, oh, I'll do it later. I have to like get the ball rolling and go straight away. So I was literally like waking up at like 12 o'clock, having a shower, reading, meditating. I had to get that all done before I even went to work, just because I knew otherwise it wouldn't get done. But yeah, the sleep schedule and all that, especially with training, was just crazy. But like, it's like you said, it's like it really is like, how much does it mean to you that at the end of the day you can just like push through it.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of respect for it, man, because I've seen firsthand again, and you know, a lot of people would, you know, wake up at that time, go do that shift at Sainsbury's, come home, and then probably just like mong out for the rest of the day, do fuck all, play their Xbox, etc. But for yourself, man, like, I respect the fact that you've capitalized on that and you've used it as an opportunity, despite the fact, you know, some days you're going to feel absolutely blasted. You know, you finish work, you come home, you train, but then you're going home and doing work. You could easily just lay around, but you're not, man. You're getting stuff done. And you've started to build up now and lay the foundations for what I think is going to be, you know, a pretty damn successful, you know, career for yourself, man. You know, if you imagine all this time that you're spending at the job you're currently at, if you could fully invest that into what you actually want to do, which is, you know, you're building a foundation for right now, you know, the sky's going to be the limit, man. So yeah, man, I just got a lot of respect for you smashing it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wouldn't have been possible without you guys. I mean, if you told me I was going to fucking meditate like a year ago, like, yeah, egos.
Yeah, well, carry on, man.
Yeah, if you tell me I was going to meditate and stuff like that, like, I remember when I first saw that, like, reading books and like cold showers. At the time, I was just like, cold showers, really? Like, is that a thing? But it was more like meditating. That was the one thing I was just like, okay, they've kind of like
Lost the plot.
They've
like
lost
seen-
the fucking. They got their little crystals surrounded by them.
Yeah, I was
candles.
waiting for that. I was waiting for the like, you have to read your horoscope this week. Tell us what your Sagittarius
Mystic
sign
Meg.
is. Like,
That's a
all
good
that
idea,
stuff.
man. That is going
Like-
into the next challenge. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, get all your amethyst crystals, find like what spirit animal you are, like all that stuff. And
Incense.
I was like, what is this? And then I actually started doing it, and funnily enough, like, that was the one thing that really benefited me, especially when I was like dieting. Like, I found like if I ever had cravings, or if like there was a moment where I was like doubting myself, I'd literally just meditate for like 10 minutes, and like it was like clarity, or it was like someone had a switch in my head where there was like, I don't know, like doubt and all that, and it was just like switched off for 10 minutes, and it was just like peace and quiet. It was very like refreshing.
I always say it's like when water is disturbed,
Mm-hmm.
if you try and settle it by intervening, you just make it worse. And it's the same with thoughts. So it's like, if you just sit there and just let it sort itself out, just let the water calm, the picture becomes clear, the reflection becomes clear, your thoughts become clear. So I always think that's like the analogy when you meditate. And people are like, oh, I just can't meditate. It's not for me. I'm just not. It's not for me. I watch Netflix. Like, that's how I meditate. That's how I do it, mate. You fucking.
That's my peace and quiet.
You need it more than ever. Like, if you can't sit still with your thoughts, that's the whole
I don't
point.
think, I think a lot of people are just like, they don't have the patience,
No.
and I can understand because like at first I really didn't, and I think if it wasn't for the 30-day challenge, I wouldn't have even give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because I think, especially with like the society we're in, I think people were like scared of like, well, it's a fact, people are scared of judgment. So like, if someone finds out you're meditating, they'll be like, why? What is that about? Like, getting the piss taken out of you? But I don't know. You've got to kind of like realize what you're going to benefit from it, and I don't know, just go from there, kind of thing.
Have you had any of your friends like comment on what you're doing right now?
Not recently, because I feel like now it's kind of settled. But a lot of my friends, especially when I came from leaving my second job, like, a lot of them started making comments about like how I just had like a whole kind of like personality shift. Because when I say like I'm literally a different person, it's mad. Because at my first and second job, I was like the person who would sit in the corner, wouldn't socialize with people because they were scared of like even interacting with a conversation because it could go bad, or like not talking to someone because you're scared they might like think you're weird or something. And now it's like I just don't give a fuck. Like, at the end of the day, like, who cares?
So it's a positive. You've mainly had like kind of positive feedback.
Oh,
from,
mate.
like your peers.
Extremely
Yeah.
positive. Like everyone's been like, especially, I think my parents number one, like seeing me commit to something, because I'd always like dabbled with fitness, and I'd always said like, oh, I'd really want to go down this route, and I think they were a bit like, all right,
Yeah,
mate,
yeah.
like, yeah, everyone likes doing push-ups and stuff, like it's not really a career, is it? Um, and then I think once they saw like how serious I took it, especially when it got to the dieting stage, they were a bit like, whoa, okay, something's like, what is this? Because like it's a bit mad.
What's your coach doing to you?
Yeah.
He's jeopardizing you.
My mum was like, creatine, steroids, what's this? like legit being like, but oh mate, my dad, my mum found my Himbo one time, and she was like,
Ooh.
what is this? Like, sat me down. She was like, I know you like the gym, but what is this? And I had to get like fucking Wikipedia documents. I was like, no, it's fine. It's just like
Speed of
raising your
sweat
heart
rolls
rate.
down your head. You're like,
I just saw steroids, like violently shaking, face going
Mum,
like,
Mum,
purple.
listen, Mum, it's a beta 2 antagonist.
Literally, it was like all over the place. But yeah, all the things people have said has mainly been positive.
That's good.
I don't think I've really had any like the people I have in my life. I wouldn't say. I feel like once I'd kind of left that job, I had like kind of separated myself from any negative people I had in my life. I think I've been quite smart in my life anyway with having like positive people around me. Like I'm not one of these people who is like, I don't know. It's like you say, like having people around you is going to influence like what you do. So I've never really had like, I don't know, like just bad influences.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mainly been positive from other
That's-
people's point of views.
That's good, man. Because I remember when I was younger and I kind of started getting into fitness like really heavily, I mainly got like negative stick from my friends, kind of like poking fun, taking the piss. Oh, boo me. But I think like in general, like getting into fitness now it's cooler.
It's a fucking trend.
It's cooler now, and people like respect it a little bit more. But even just a few years ago, man, like if you were going gym, like people would poke fun at you. Like, oh, you're odd. Going gym or muscles and stuff like that. So that's good, man. But it's an interesting one with the parents as well. Like until they actually see, I think for a lot of people initially with their parents' kind of opinions, they only want the best for you. So if you're going into kind of uncharted territory for them as well, they kind of, alarm bells start ringing. So of course it's like autopilot mode for them. They can't, they
They pick the safest route, which is often a career path that's already been walked.
But I think the main thing is like I think if I think about like 40 years ago, there wasn't a real fitness industry. Like there wasn't like social media, there wasn't like online coaching, like all these things. So like you can't really blame them from their perspective because they have no idea. They have no idea that there's
dinosaurs, mate.
Exactly. So there's like no judgment there, and I was never like angry at them or anything about like saying that they didn't really understand it. And it was only kind of later on where I kind of explained like all these routes, they started fully supporting it. But yeah, I mean, initially I felt like I can understand. Like when I started early, it was a bit of a kind of knock on the head because I was like, this is the one thing I like, and they were like, all right, mate, it's just lifting weights. You're not gonna make money.
Grow up, yeah.
Yeah, but now it's all good. It's all good.
Good, man. I bet it's a big kind of motivation boost for you as well. Once it's a nice thing having your parents behind you backing it as well, and then when they start to see the positive shift in yourself as well, they, obviously a switch has gone in their head, like okay, like you actually fucking wants this now, So, what's your goal then, mate? What's your goal within the next, say, 2 years or year?
2 years. What are we saying from business perspective, life perspective? Or
Well, I think, mate, for what you want to achieve, I think you want to kind of go down the route of making your lifestyle your business,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think the two kind of go together quite nicely. So what's your vision for yourself in 2 years' time?
I always hate questions like that because I just feel like there's so many factors that can change it. But
Doesn't have to be like 100% like I know,
Well, obviously I want to develop my business. I want to start kind of like taking on clients. I mean, I've already got clients who I'm not charging because I don't feel comfortable like not being a qualified PT and like making people pay information just because like I don't know. I feel like that's a massive thing in the industry. Like, and I was gonna say this like just from, I mean, I've been coached for is it over. Is it 2 years or just coming up? I feel like it's coming up to about 2 years now.
It's got to be like a year and
year and a half.
Year and a half.
Year
Just
and a half,
under.
yeah.
I mean, I've been coached for a year and a half, and I've always like been interested in fitness, and I feel like I have a lot better understanding than most like gym bros.
Absolutely.
And I've invested in a course. I've invested in like other stuff, trying to further my knowledge, and I still don't feel comfortable like fully charging people. So to think like some people out there literally just get abs and are charging people is mad. But in terms of direction, the next 2 years, I want to get clients. I want to build that brand, launch a social media, and try and build that up. Fully transition out of Sainsbury's, because the way I'm looking at it now is because the hours are so in my favour and I can move them around. I feel like even when I am fully qualified, I'll still spend some time there just to get some extra money so I can invest it in the business and courses and other stuff like that. So fully transition out of that. Even if it's into a commercial gym or a private sector, it depends like how many clients I have. But ideally, I'd like to go into a private gym eventually. Starting off, building up a big number of clients, and then just having my own service, and then eventually being able to transition that full-time online. But I know that's a lot later down the line, because I want for me personally to have at least like 2 years in person in a gym, just to be able to like kind of be there and say I've kind of done that and I understand that, because I feel like a lot of people just kind of get a PT qualification and try transitioning straight away, and I just don't think that's realistic.
Yeah, so I think, to be honest with you, mate, like you're 100% going down the right route with it. I think, you know, once you've given a good run with your current clients you've got, you know, just kind of testing the waters kind of thing, maybe I would say eventually, man, just take the fucking jump, you know, start trying to charge people, because I think the best way to learn is just to get stuck in. It's good now, obviously, just getting stuck into it and taking on those clients for free. I think that's how everyone should.
Oh, don't get me wrong, as soon as I'm qualified, I will charge people, but I just mean like from the point I'm at now, I just want to at least have like, I can be like, look, I'm qualified, so it's not just like a random person who's like got abs and just been like, give me your money.
Yeah, I think like, and the thing is as well, every person and their nan's cat is trying to become an online coach now, you know. So I think it's good that you're kind of wiggling your way in there early, and I've seen you like working behind the scenes, you know, on like your like information books and stuff like that, ebooks. So just, you know, just smash the groundwork now, man, and then when it comes to the time you're ready to charge, you're just going to be, you know, head and heels above people that are just, you know, maybe got a bit of a social media following, and then they're trying to be an online coach without, because you don't need any qualifications to be an online coach. You know, anyone can be an online coach. It's as simple as that. That's why it's a bit of a grey area. Get your qualifications, you know, get some nice client results from your free clients, and then just go balls in on it, man. I think you're going to smash it.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to the next couple of years, but yeah.
It's good that you've kind of got a good little video. I think like when it comes to having like a 1 year vision or 2 year vision or 10 year vision or whatever, like I think if you don't have like a set direction, it's not the worst thing in the world, as long as you're like net positive in terms of happiness and maybe finances each year, and you feel like you're heading in the right direction. I think that's good enough as it is, because you know, you don't know what curveball is gonna throw you like in 1 or 2 years time.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't know like the whole COVID situation. I mean, like sorry to mention that word, guys. I know you're a bit
cancelled now.
Cancelled. That's it, mate. The whole podcast is written off now, mate.
Right. But yeah, you don't. I mean, like with this whole situation, you never know like what's gonna happen. So I mean, I just try and get the best. Oh, it sounds like so cringy saying.
Go on, mate.
I try and get the best out each day, and just like working towards it. That's the goal I have at the moment. Just get the most out of each day, and just like go from there.
I think it comes back to, man, like just compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and also like a month ago, a year ago. Like don't compare your stage 10 to someone else's like stage 2 or vice versa.
And that's something I used to do so bad, and I think that's the reason I was
social
really
media.
down. Like
probably because you're on your phone all the time, mate, in work, on social media.
Yeah, no. But it was like all my mates worked up London as well. Like all my mates are like accountants and stuff, and like I was like, and they make like did good money for their age. So I think from my perspective, especially when I first joined Sainsbury's, I was just like, this is just shit.
You're a fucking
Like,
bum, mate. You're a bum.
yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna, this is my life. This is what I'm gonna have to do for the rest of my life. And I just literally had that
Yeah, but
mentality. Just
How
like,
quick can you pack a Sainsbury's van now, mate?
oh mate, you don't even want to know.
How quick
Like,
can they pack it? Yeah, exactly.
F1 pit
just
stops.
exactly. You know? Mate, the thing is, I'll be the best lorry loader there. That's the new mentality. It's like, yeah, I'm at a shit job, but I'll be the best at the shit job, you know?
Yeah, and when we get you on steroids as well, mate, right, and you reach like
Yeah.
250 pounds lean, mate, you won't even be loading the lorries. You will be the lorry.
I'll be
mate.
the lorry, mate. I'll just put the totes in my pocket and just walk people's houses, mate.
What would you? All right, then, mate. So, what would you say is, because I think the main thing that I'm impressed about you is you probably feel like sometimes your time management is tough. But what would you say? What would you say to someone, a young person that's trying to do something or has like a better vision? Maybe they've got a job that similar to yourself. What was your best bit of advice for them when they say, "Oh, I can't make the time to do this," or I could do that, but I just haven't got the time to do it.
It is bullshit because I was that person. Like, I think a lot of people kid themselves, and the number one way is like, mate, look at your screen time on your phone. Like, how many hours do you spend on your phone, literally just scrolling endlessly? Like, one of the things I've tried doing recently is I'm trying to cut back on it because there's like 7-8 hours a day, like just on that, which isn't needed. So I'm trying to cut it to like 3-4. But it's like stepping stones. It's like little wins. It's like you guys say. My piece of advice is start small. The way I like to think about it is like a video game. Like, don't try and go to level 100 and get to the main boss straight away because you're just going to die. Yeah, exactly. You need to start off small. You need to slowly build up, kind of get that natural.
RuneScape.
Yeah, exactly. Get the level 99 woodchopping and all that stuff.
Don't go to this straight away, otherwise you get pwned.
Exactly, man. You've just got to kind of get that progression and slowly start going with it. But in terms of time, like, everyone has time. Everyone has the same amount of time in a day. Write down your goals and write down little wins leading up to it. That's something that I found like really valuable, especially from Mo's thing at the start of the year when he said to like set goals and like have the little things basically leading up to it, so you can kind of see you're getting there. Yeah. But not like, because I feel like it's very discouraging when you have one massive goal and you're just looking at it at the same point and it's like been 6 months and you still haven't ticked it off, and you're just, at the end of the day, it's just like words on paper, and you're just looking at it and you're like, nothing's happening. So if you have like a little tick off sheet and you're slowly getting to it and seeing that progress build, it's a lot more motivating than just having one massive goal that seems like unreachable.
Yeah, and I think like for yourself, there is days where we literally made a video. Well, no, I made a video on this on the private group, but so like touching on like the kind of aspect of motivation. So obviously you've had days, I know you have, where you just feel like absolute shit and you don't want to get stuff done. But like, because you've set a grander goal and because you've set the stepping stones in order to get there and you've attached emotion onto that goal, like if people would say, "Oh, Lou, how do you stay motivated? How do you make sure that you're still getting everything done?" "Oh, I can't find the motivation to do it."
Oh, Charles, mate. That's literally it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like motivation isn't a thing, it's just necessity. Like, motivation comes and goes. You can get, if you see, like, watch a video or you see someone killing it, you can get some, motivation that will last like a few hours. It gets you out of bed.
Think about the bigger picture at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and it's like, I remember you saying recently, like a while back, I kind of had a stint where I was like I'm only human. Everyone goes through like times of like really going well, and then you can have a motivation dip, and I had a motivation dip, and you said to me, it was just like, because it was in terms of training, sticking to my diet, and you were like, think about the competition. Someone else is out there doing this, and you're gonna have to stand on stage with them one day, and they've been putting in the work when you haven't. And since like you said that, like, it's always in the back of my head where like, if I don't want to eat, because the amount of food I'm on, like, I don't enjoy eating. Like, I remember when I was cutting, and the one thing I wanted was like all the food in the world, and now it's like the complete opposite, and I'm just like, if I have to eat one more gram of rice or oats, like, fuck off. But like, once you have that in your head, that there's something you've kind of got to work towards, like, I don't know, and it's the bigger picture, lack of motivation just kind of goes out the window. And
yeah, and I think like if someone's on a consistent basis just not motivated, they just don't feel motivated to work towards the thing that a goal that they've set, then they probably don't truly want it. Like,
exactly.
For instance, like, I want to smash this show. I want to absolutely wipe the floor with Mo and his fucking receding hairline. So like, I'm going to do whatever I can, you know, each day in order to do that. And I've literally just set myself little micro goals, as you've said, you know, the stepping stones that are going to get me there to that ultimate goal. And you know, that you have days where you wake up or it's late at night, you've done, you know, your training for the day, you've done your cardio for the day, but you've still got like 5,000 steps to do, and it's like 11 at night and you've got your bed right next to you. You know, you could easily just jump into your bed, but like, if you
Did I ever tell you the story of when I did 15,000 steps in my room?
What?
Mate, there was one day on prep, and I was literally down in the dumps, and I hit my calories, I hit my workout, and I was just like, I can't be asked. It was like a rest day, so I wasn't at work. So normally I'm doing so much, and it gets to the point like, I honestly think I had some of the worst conditions for a cut. Yeah, like it was in
Oh, it wasn't
COVID.
ideal
I
at
couldn't
all.
enjoy the gyms. I had a home setup, but like none of the workouts I enjoyed. Couldn't see any of my mates, so that was like not ideal. I mean, it was good in terms of like not drinking and stuff, and like I was working in the supermarkets every single day. I'd see like all the food I want to eat like in front of me. I'd have to do like a manual labor job. Anyway, I'm just trying to feel sorry for myself. But yeah, it got to the end of the day, and I'd literally done like 3,000 steps. And I remember our goal at the time was like, I know it was at least like 15 or 20k. And I was like, nah, I'm not. Like, because I wanted to tick every single box. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm doing this now. I literally slapped on a Joe Rogan podcast, and I literally just walked up and down there for about. It must have been at least 2.5 hours, because I remember starting the podcast and it like tunnel vision just set in, and I just remember like it was weird. It was like I zoned out and I just turned robotic, and I remember just hearing like the outro of the podcast, and I was like, what? And I just looked at the thing and I was just like, mate. But like, yeah, it is at the end of the day like how much you want it. If you want it, like if it means that much to you, you will get it done.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. I was like, I bet like your mum opened the door, right, and you had your head down, just feeling sorry yourself, podcast on, and you didn't even see it. She just walks in,
Yeah,
and then walks out.
yeah, it's just like, nah.
Yeah, but like, who would be motivated to do that? Like, if you asked anyone on the street, or if you asked, you know, the majority of people, oh, do you want to just do 15,000 steps within like a 3-meter space?
But mate, like still all my mates, I mean, especially like my mates who are girls kind of like look at what I'm doing, and it's like, why? Like they like going to the gym like every single day, pushing yourself to like fucking kill yourself with weights, and then eating so much food, and they're just like, why? So you can stand on a stage with other men. Like, what's that about? But I don't know. Yeah, like it's just how much you want it. And like, not everyone's going to believe in your goals. People aren't going to like see it under the same light. So,
Well, mate, it's not the worst thing, mate. There's people do weirder things. You know, people get things injected into their lips so that other people can look at them on nights out and stuff like that in a club where no one really cares about them. You know, so you do you, mate. You stay in your own lane, and
It's different strokes for different folks, isn't it?
Yeah,
And it's like, at the end of the day, man, there's worse addictions than working out and being
100%.
healthy, you know.
Mhm.
But it's usually the people that give you shit about that. Like, I remember getting poked fun of when I was younger, and I was like, very obsessive. Yeah, you love yourself, or like, oh, gym boy, gym. And it's like, dude, you're saying that really from a place of insecurity, because you know
Yeah, exactly.
that you lack that. I'm not saying like I'm super disciplined, I just enjoy it, but for a lot of people, they lack it. They lack the discipline, so it's easier to project and to say, oh, he's just obsessed. He's just got nothing else going on. But it's like, dude, what else are we gonna do with our time on this little weird planet?
little spinning ball.
Yeah, I think improve yourself physically, mentally, and you know the gym does that. Like, look at you, obviously physically, but that has preceded with the mental state as well. You know, they're both connected. And when you're training, when you're improving yourself, you're signaling to yourself that you matter, and that gives like a positive feedback loop, and it continues like an upward spiral of like just success, ticking those boxes. And then by the end of like 10, 20, 30 years, the power compound, completely different person. And then people will call it like, oh, it was just luck, or it's just genetics, or it's just like that. But really what it took is like, you know, slowly replacing each building block that you are as a person, and replacing it through days of like habits that repeat. And that's how you get the change. So for you to like we said at the start of here, from a year ago to where you are now, and then where you're gonna be, which is the exciting part, it's like shit only gets better
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck what anyone says. Oh, you don't want to come out, blah blah blah, or you don't want to make loads of money at this time. It's like you can't have everything at once. You can have anything, just not everything
Can't
at
have your
once.
cake and eat it.
Yeah, we can't have you eating cake, you know. So I think, man, like don't be swayed by that. Like I said.
Oh no, don't worry, mate. I've got my head on straight. I mean,
Yeah, because I really like I resonate with that dude when I had the similar experience in London. I had a good job, blue collar job, good money, and it was like part of the whole what you're supposed to do, climb the corporate ladder. And I remember having that dream in like college, high school, be like, oh, that's what I want to do. Like that'd be the ideal situation for me. Is like, you know, wearing a suit, going underground.
that was me. I literally watched Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, "That's the life. That's what I want." You know.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, yeah,
Nah,
mate. I'm not joking. We were literally in the office, and there was a time where they were doing a sales meeting.
I was
and
just
they
I was like snorting coke off my
Literally-
boss's asshole.
no,
gay,
they
is it?
got Wolf of Wall Street clips to like motivate people, and I was just like, "What is like?" Now I look back at it, I'm
it's
like,
like a
mate,
cult.
what? Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
brainwashing. I hate
It
that
is.
BS that they give these big speeches in like these big corporations. Like, come on, guys, what's our motto? And it's like just brainwashing. Like the customer's always right and smile with a surface. I'm like, mate, you would replace me in a heartbeat if I was to drop dead. So why the fuck should I bend over backwards for a company like this? Like, call it ego, but I'd rather be slaving away for my own business than to do this. And obviously, like you're getting experience and you are getting paid at the end of the day, but the whole entire time when I was doing jobs like that, I was like, this is someone else's company, this is someone else's dream. Like,
Yeah.
I
That's literally
couldn't-
what's been in the back of my head recently as well. Just like, I don't know, like I want to live my life for me, and I understand like some people do want to do that. They want to climb the corporate ladder, and
you could be happy, man. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly.
You
And
could
a
be
lot of
happy like
people, it is like the social norm, and that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like I've just got to this point in my life where I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to live my life for me, and if that's selfish, so be it. But I don't know. I feel like looking further down the line, like I don't know, when I'm like 80 years old, if I can look back at my life and be like, I lived my life for me. I made this. I did that.
I fucking lived.
Yeah, exactly.
Packing your 10 millionth Sainsbury's bag into the van.
I'm the best backpacker.
Lorry. Hopefully not by that time. Fingers crossed.
It means to an end, mate.
I'm fairly confident, mate. You'll be absolutely fine. And you know, like even like being self-employed and whatnot and doing your own thing, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I know it's like you must be self-employed, blah blah blah. And I can see why people do have this kind of job.
Cool.
It's tough, man. It's it's not easy trying to get yourself off your feet, and you know, and the money that comes in is all dependent on, you know, your input. You know, your input.
But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like recently thinking about like the whole thing, because I understand it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I feel like I kind of thrive off like not being
Uncertainty, adversity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because when you've got like a 9 to 5, you've got like
predictable.
You've
Comfort.
got the set wage, and you're getting that every single month, and like as long as you adhere to like what they tell you to do, you've got a job. Whereas when you're kind of self-employed, and especially if you're doing like online coaching, like one day, like literally all your clients could just drop out. So like I don't know, being able to kind of like know that like shit, I need to be doing this, I need to be like working
Keeps you on
on
your
myself
feet,
and
yeah.
improving
Keeps you on your toes.
everything every single day. For me personally, I feel like that's gonna really kind of like drive me to keep consistent, and yeah, something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you've really got to weigh it up to like happiness versus like, you know, income. So yes, you may be taking like a $5,000 or 10 grand pay cut at the start, but if you can still get by on, you know, what you're earning through self-employment, and your happiness levels are up here, you know,
Exactly.
because you're happier, you're more than likely going to be able to invest more time into your business. You're going to be more motivated to actually do so. Whereas if you work in a dead end job and you know you're fucking miserable, then you're never gonna want to make the time to actually work on that thing that you've actually wanted to do. So I think a lot of people like just need to fucking take the leap and actually do it. Take that hit, that initial loss, especially if you're young like yourself. You know, you started this like kind of transition when you were like 18, 19, 19. You're 20 now, aren't you?
21.
21. You're 21.
21.
Jeez, you're getting old, mate.
Yeah.
So you just got to take that leap, man. And you know, at the end of the day, like, what have you got to lose? You know, you're always going to focus on the loss. We're loss averse, so just take the leap. If you're listening to this and maybe you're in a similar situation to what Lou was, like, you know, a couple of years ago, take the leap. And as you can see from Lou's situation, it's not all that bad. You've still got a way to go, still working on it, but you're getting by, mate, and that's all that matters.
You also got to check your ego, man. I think a lot of people it's normal, dude, as well. From the, like, you know, from going in.
Especially when you're young, man.
That's what
like,
I do. Yeah, when
everyone fresh out of school, like especially if you're like, I don't know. I remember coming out of sixth form and you're like at the top of like the school food chain at the time, and you think you're like the dog's bollocks. You know everything, and you're like, nothing can stop me. And then you go into the real world and you're just like swallowed up. And it's like a real reality check.
A lot of people aren't willing, right? Everything's a fun. Everything's like, I've got a car and finance. I've got these clothes that I'm actually like, you know, I can't really afford. All this is a show when you're young, because when you're young, you care about the opinions of others a lot. And as you get older, it like dissipates. But what I'm saying is, like, people aren't willing to, like, you know, delay the short-term gratification of like living that, wanting to live that like lifestyle of I'm doing well in my 20s, and instead just, I think, eating shit and learning as much as you can and building your skills. And with that comes, like, you're not going to earn as much money. You can't have it all at once, like I always say. So for you, like with your Sainsbury's job, it's like, it's a means to an end, and it will come.
Yeah, it's like I like to think of it as just like, I'm not saying everyone goes down the same path, but I feel like a majority of people, like, yeah, they have a steady job and it like kind of goes like that, and then it kind of stays like that for a while. But the path,
And
I
then
feel
you'll
like,
get a promotion.
like, it kind of goes like that, like steady incline. But yeah, I definitely agree with the ego thing. It's something I had to check myself about, especially when I kind of got out of my job. And I think that's something I'm very happy that I got into coaching for, and being coached, because I feel like that. I remember when I first started off with Tom, there were so many times where I was just like, no, this is bullshit. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, all of this. I was just like,
This
I know.
guy's a fucking whack off. He doesn't know what he's doing.
What do you mean my form isn't good, mate? I've been doing this for 2 years. What are you telling me? Like, all that kind of stuff. When so, like, and there is still times to this day where I'm just like, no, I'm doing everything perfectly, and then I have to take a step back, and I'm like, I feel like, especially in the gym, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like so many people chase weights, and something I've realized, and something that I pride myself on now, is like being able to execute a movement like perfectly before I move on.
Yeah.
And I think that is a massive ego check, because I remember trying to be in the gym and like putting like the most weight on, and just like, I remember when I was doing deadlifts, that was the biggest ego check I ever had. I did deadlifts at my mate's home gym, and he was like, mate, what's wrong with your back? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm doing it perfectly. Like 150 kg, filmed it from the side, literally looked like a coat hanger, mate. It was absolutely terrible. And I was like, And it's one of those things where, you know, you can't be like, oh no, that's fine. So that was like a massive ego check, and I just remember sending it to Tom, and like my heart had sank, because the one thing I loved doing was deadlifts, and I was like doing 100 and like, I built up to like 108, and I was like, mate, this is sick. This is like really good. And it was just terrible.
Sitting at check-ins like that.
Yeah, literally, I was like, you're like, amazing, mate.
What? I can't deadlift anymore. Class. So what's the biggest piece of advice you would give to if you could go, say you could like touch back into the past. Have you ever watched Justice League with the Flash? And he like tries to touch Batman.
Yeah.
You could save us. What would Blue?
You are the Flash right now.
If you could go back from like, say, like a year ago, you're in that job, you're unsure of yourself. What would you say to yourself?
It's gonna sound so cringy, like so like.
Send it, mate.
Is it gonna make us cry?
It might, like, it's quite emotional. Like, if you can edit like some like really intense like classical music,
some Brandon Harding, emotional piano music.
Get like a lens flare coming in, like some of that. No, it literally just be like, don't doubt yourself, because I had so much self-doubt, and so I just remember thinking like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I only think like after my cart was the first time like it was complete, I was just like, I don't know, like there was a massive like weight off my shoulders of like, if I actually like commit myself to something, I can actually do something. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of young people definitely have that in the back of their head, like just thinking like, I have to do this certain path, I have to go down this like route, and like, yeah, it may be harder at the end of the day, like doing what you want to do, but if you believe in yourself 100% and you like commit to that, then I believe anyone can like make that change.
If you work hard over a long period of time and dedicate yourself, the likelihood is that something good will happen eventually. It may take a little bit longer, but you just got to stick it out.
Just had to one up me there, Tom, didn't you? You couldn't just let me have it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Be a philosopher, mate, honestly. I'm waiting for that RET philosophy quote book.
Nah, the first one's the star sign book, mate. It's coming soon. Right, so let's leave it on that note, mate. Absolutely fantastic having you on. I know we tried last time. But with the obviously you're on your Mars mission with Elon Musk, so the connection wasn't great.
Yeah, sorry
but
about
mate,
that.
it's been a pleasure to have you on, and it's been
Thanks
good
for
chatting to
having
you,
me,
man. Any words, Alex?
Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing. The power of compound. Like, you don't have to have it all sorted. You're on the right path. Trust the process. I wish I was on this path when I was younger. I feel fucking old saying that, but I'm 26. I look great though, so. But yeah, just
All the carrots, mate.
Check that ego.
I'm telling you,
yeah.
mate.
Check that ego, lad.
mate, my ego's ego's great. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep sending it. And I was saying this to Tom. Imagine, like, people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10.
Mm-hmm.
So just, keep the meditating, keep the self-improvement up.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be 5 years down the line,
You'll be Giga Chad, basically.
Go come back on the podcast and it'll be like a whole different.
Yeah.
You'll be on Venus then, mate, with Elon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, next mission, mate.
But no, mate, it's been a pleasure having you on. Honestly, mate, you're a credit to the RET community. You've been absolutely smashing it, and I can't wait to see you keep on fucking killing it, man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Lou. Right, catch you soon, man.